Want to know how to get followers, gain a following, and grow organically on Instagram for free? Well, lucky for you, today we are going to go over the 7 hacks that I use to grow Instagram. Today we're going to discuss things like Instagram captions. When is the best time to post on Instagram? Small hacks like how to add multiple photos to your Instagram stories, and the best apps to create an Instagram story template. When we're ready to actually post on Instagram, let's talk about hashtags. We'll talk about the most effective way to hashtag, how to use hashtags effectively, and I'll share with you my favorite Instagram hashtag generators to make sure you're getting the top, best, trending, and popular hashtags for Instagram. And then some tips on how to share your Instagram posts, how to get reshares, how to reshare other people, or if you're an account who shares, let's talk about how to repost content on Instagram. Then of course we need to talk about Instagram Reels, my new favorite feature, obviously. Finally, we'll talk about engagement, how to get more engagement, how you should be engaging properly. And stick around to the end of the video for a bonus trick that has just revolutionized my entire experience on Instagram. I know it sounds too good to be true, but I've been gaining around 20,000 followers a month on Instagram without spending more time on the app. I know that sounds way too good to be true, but I thought the same thing before I started using these tactics. I watched a few videos on how to grow 10,000 a month and I was like, there's not a chance. I'm only at 10,000. It took me 5 years to get here. But I realized I wasn't really utilizing these strategies and I honestly wasn't putting enough effort in. And so I've summarized these into a single video for you so that you can grow as well. My account has been getting an insane amount of coverage and I'm so grateful for it. So naturally I've had a few DMs and common questions about Instagram growth and like how to do it, what the tricks are. Let's get into it. And before we get started, make sure you subscribe for massive growth on Instagram. Instagram captions are a very overlooked, important process in posting on Instagram. This is like your one chance to actually truly connect with somebody and get them to engage with your content. Obviously, your Instagram post is supposed to stop them dead in their feed, but Instagram captions are so important in keeping them there and getting them to actually engage with you and your content. So if you're just posting photos of yourself, use your Instagram as a journal. Talk about your feelings, talk about your expressions, talk about the shot that you're posting, talk about something that's important to you. Share who you are, share what's important to you, and connect with that audience. How can you make somebody's day better? How can you relate to somebody? We're all just trying to relate in this social world. Your Instagram caption is a really great way to start that conversation. Now, if you're posting for engagement, think about how you can drive engagement. Think about how you can get people to comment. What I typically do, especially with my Instagram Reels, is I ask a question. Are you ready for Christmas? Are you excited? These simple things drive a ton of engagement, like hundreds of comments. It's unbelievable. If you just post a song lyric or if you just post some silly statement on your photo, you're not really engaging with people, you're not driving or starting a conversation, and that's gonna miss out on a lot of growth. Go and find your favorite accounts, look at what their captions are. Find the captions that resonate with you and use that as a way for you to connect with an audience that you feel like you're a part of. When is the best time to post on Instagram? This is a very interesting topic because it is unique to every single creator. It varies on a lot of different things. So the first thing we have to do is go and look at our analytics. If you don't have a business account on Instagram and you're trying to grow this as a business, that's a huge mistake. So go set that up right now. It's super easy. You just do it through Facebook. Now, once you have it, go to your profile, click on your insights, go to your followers and scroll to the bottom. You can see what times of days and what days of the week your audience is most actively engaged. Use this as a guideline for posting. And you can read this a few different ways. You can either post when they're most active, post before it gets active, or post when it's dead. Sometimes I'll post like really late at night or really early in the morning, but it's based on your following as well. What time zone are you in? What time zone is your audience in? What audience wants to see what type of content? Does Canada want to see more winter stuff in the dead of winter? Probably not. So maybe I don't post in the Canadian time zones. Maybe I'll post in the Australian time zones because they love the look of snow. So that's a strategy that I've been using personally. Now, sometimes it's just gonna feel right. And there's no reason why you shouldn't trust your intuition. If you want to post something like right now, do that, follow that, use that intuition and then post. That's what this platform's for. Share what you want to share when you want to share it. There is a complete unpredictability on Instagram and sometimes it's just going to go off at random times. The point is try to be strategic and at least know what your audience is and look for who you're targeting and who you want to grow with. Instagram stories. This is such a key feature that I think a lot of people underutilize. And a little bit of effort goes a very, 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 very long way, I promise you. A lot of people ask how to add music to your Instagram stories. Now, if you don't have Instagram music, it's okay. We're gonna work through this together. One of the tricks I used to use was I would play a song on my phone, and then I would wait for the part that I wanted in my story, and then I would go to my Instagram app and quickly hit record, and that was my story, because it will record the audio that you're playing. Another way, like more professionally, is if you download a track from, let's say, MusicBed. If you drop that to your phone, you can open it in an app like Splice, and you can add it to a pre-composed story that you've already made. Now, there are a few features that you really should be using on stories, such as like questions, the polls. These are ways to engage. People can learn a lot about you, and you can learn a lot about the people that are watching you. This way you can kind of gauge what your audience is, what they like, and you can continue growing that way. Also, remember to use countdowns. It's so important. If you have a big project coming up, this is free advertising. Post a countdown to when you're going live. Post a countdown to your new post. There's no shame in doing this. People are following you for a reason. Use it. Whenever I make a new post, I put it in my stories. I know it's like that cheesy cliche thing like, oh, we understand you have a new post. But a lot of the times your posts still don't surface in the algorithm, which is unfortunate. So there's no harm in putting up a new post in your story. For the amount of people that give you hate for it, there's 1,000 more that are happy to know that you posted because they're interested in you. And finally, consider making an Instagram story template. What I like to use is Canva Stories. It's free. It has like all the cool designs of all the other apps, but they don't put a watermark on it, which is awesome. I love you, Canva. I don't know how you make money, but thank you so much for everything you do. Using templates is a great way to add multiple photos to your story. Now, if you don't want to do that and you just want to add a photo that's in your library to another photo that you have in your story, all you have to do is go to your photos, click the share button, and then copy photo. Now when you go to your Instagram story, tap, hit paste, and your photo's in there. Instagram hashtags. Now I know you don't want to come off as hashtag basic, but hashtags are so important. I know every other tip I said was so important, but hashtags are also so key to getting a new audience. Have you ever noticed when you're scrolling in your feed and you see a photo that's like really cool, but you have no idea who it's by? That's probably because you are following a hashtag. Instagram's really integrated them into our posts now, and it's so important to put them in your posts so that you can show up on other people's feeds. That's like a whole community for you to be a part of. And they're actually interested in that style of content. A huge percentage of my insights come from hashtags. I won't go much further in emphasizing the importance of this. Let's talk about how to use them strategically. So here's a tip. Use some, don't use a ton. I think the max is 30, but I'm usually trying to go around like 10, maybe 15. And you want to mix them up. You want to go for some that are large, some that are medium, and some that are small. Mainly emphasize on the small and the mediums, because those are ones that you can actually rank for and you can get in the top 9. Now the big ones, you still have a chance, so I wouldn't totally dismiss those. Those are still a big opportunity for you. But if we had 10 hashtags, I would say let's go 4 small, 4 medium, and 2 large hashtags. Small would be 100K or less, large would be 1 million, and medium would be in between those. Now if you don't know what hashtags to use, you can either hunt for them by finding popular posts that are kind of in line with your style and seeing which ones did well for them, or you can use an Instagram hashtag generator. Use something like all hashtag, which is pretty cool, or use like besthashtags.com. There's a ton of different options out there for you, and make sure you cycle them. You can create a note in your phone with all these different hashtags, and you can group them. So you can do group 1, group 2, group 3. Make sure you're cycling them, because if you don't, then you kind of look like you're spamming and you're a bot, and that's going to cause some issues in the algorithm, and you don't want to get shadow banned for doing that. Finally, I've heard that you can use them in a paragraph format and they might perform better. So, create sentences with them instead of just posting like a whole heap of them. I haven't tried that yet, but I'm going to start trying that out this week, and I'll update that during the part 2 to this video. Let's talk about how to repost on Instagram strategically. Reposting could be recycling old photos that you have that did well, which I highly encourage as you grow, because you have a new audience that may not have seen that. It might get buried in your feed. Or if you're reposting somebody else's post, there's apps to go and do that, but what I would recommend is to create a relationship first. I find a lot of success in reaching out to these other creators or these bigger pages. If I have a post that is performing really well, really quickly, the first thing I do is I go and I DM it to some of my favorite accounts. Now I know I can trust on them to reshare it because it's gonna help them grow, and that's gonna help me grow. Now you can also collaborate with other creators and you can share their content, share stuff that you really like and you think your audience will like. Cross promotion is an amazing tool. Instagram Reels, the hottest, newest trend feature on Instagram. Since Reels has helped me achieve massive growth like beyond my beliefs. I am going to dedicate an entire video on how to make high performing reels and all the strategies that I've used to grow my account from 10 to 60,000 just using Instagram reels. But for this video, I still want to give you some insight. So here are the key essential tips that you need to know when posting reels. First of all, make sure you are selecting to post it to your feed. Even if you're removing it from your feed in 10 minutes, make sure you select post to feed, because that way you have the chance to get featured. If you don't do that, it's not going anywhere. Nobody's gonna see it. Post it to your feed. That is so important. That is so critical. That is the #1 thing you need to take away. Second thing is to consider the music that you're using. I got a copyright strike. I didn't know that was possible. Considering Instagram Music lets me choose the song and post it. Don't post anything that might be too popular that you haven't seen anybody else post. But definitely use popular music. Use trending music. I know there are a few songs that became super annoying to me, but they work. There's a reason why they're stuck in our heads. On top of that, don't be afraid to cut the music. I use sound effects in some of mine. Sometimes I don't use any sound. I find it to be really meditative. But using music and using sounds is very different audiences, which can be to your benefit. And again, hashtag with your reels. The same way you would with a post, hashtag with your reels. Engage. Go out of your way to engage. Literally book 1 to 2 hours out of your day to go and engage with your community or a community that you're trying to build. In order to optimize your time, one trick that I use is I will create keyboard shortcuts on my phone. So for example, you can change any combination of letters or numbers to then formulate a sentence. You can create things like TFS, which could be thanks for sharing. You can post a lot of comments that are different and unique in their own way very quickly by using this tip. Another hack is to turn on post notifications for bigger accounts. So if there's an account that you love or somebody that you're a huge fan of, turn on their post notifications if you haven't yet. And then every time they post, be one of the first people to comment on their post. Don't say 1 or 2 words or just put emojis. Put something that has some sort of engagement, something that's real and authentic. Maybe comment on how the photo makes you feel. Do something that is relatable. And that way you appear first to everybody else who's going on that post, and you'll be surprised how much engagement that drives. I'm sure we've all clicked like on somebody who've commented something that we were already thinking. Be that person. You can drive a lot of engagement and get on a lot of different people's radars by doing that. I don't know if I mentioned it, but make sure you're also following hashtags. Turn on those post notifications for different hashtags and make sure you're one of the first people to comment on hashtags, because that way you can build in those small communities. And finally, share your friends' work. I know I already talked about this a bit, but don't be afraid to share other people's work. You're gonna get what you give. Add those hashtags. Tag those accounts that you love. Share the work that you are inspired by, because you're putting that work into other people's feed too, and they'll love you for that. Here's my bonus. This is more of a mental trick, but it changed everything for me. My friend Scott Backen, absolute legend, an incredible mentor to me. One of the things that he said to me which resonated and has gotten me so far is don't think, just post. Don't think, just post. Don't think, just post. Anytime I catch myself overthinking something, if I'm worrying about the grade, or if I'm worrying about the comment, or if I'm worrying about the hashtags I'm using, I stop overthinking, I hit post, and I walk away from my phone. You literally have no idea what somebody's gonna like. Some of my most popular posts were things that I thought were just throwaways. Don't be afraid to post. Post a lot. Keep yourself posting. Post different things as well. Post a photo, post a video, post a reel. Don't think, just post. Get things out there, because somebody somewhere might resonate with it, and you can make their day better. That is how you build a following on Instagram. I spent years being way too in my head about it. I thought my content had to be so perfectly curated. And then the first time I posted an iPhone clip on my feed, it got featured and changed literally everything. And now I can travel for free just using my phone. It's amazing. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Somebody might like what you're about to post. Don't think too deep into it. Just post, have fun with the app. And I think that's the perfect recipe to growing an Instagram account. It's just not caring too much. Obviously care about the people, care about the content you post, but don't overthink it to the point where it's stress. It's supposed to be an app for engaging and building a community. But that's all for today. If you found any of these tips helpful, I would really appreciate it if you would hit subscribe. And if you haven't checked out my Instagram, it's completely different content, so feel free to go do that. And if you want a part 2 to this video, make sure you like and comment about it. There are a lot more tips that I could put in here. I'm gonna make a whole video on Reels itself, but I'm always curious to see what you are interested in learning. I don't fully know what you're thinking right now until you put it in the comments. You are so amazing. Thank you for sticking all the way to the end. I hope you have a ton of growth on your social platforms. And thanks for being a part of this community. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.